And good morning, Zija Nation. Welcome to the Saturday morning new distributor training. This is a great day. Here we are in the spring of 2018, really a monumental moment in the history of Zija. So I want to welcome all of you. There's a lot of leaders on the call. Thank you for being here. But this call is really designed for all of you new people. And we dedicate this time to you so that you have the start, the support, and understand that we do this as a team. You're not by yourself, okay? Now, my name is Amy McKenzie. I'm an Emerald executive with the company, and it's my privilege to get to host this morning. This is generally hosted by Triple Diamond executive Fred Holmes, who is taking some well-deserved time to visit the family. So we miss you, Fred, and we'll look forward to seeing him next week. But today, as you can see, I have a really exciting guest with me, #1 woman in the world, also one of my favorite people, and one of the most generous leaders I have known in any industry, Pat Andersen. It's so great to have you here, Pat. You hear me okay,
for
Pat?
asking me on, and you okay? Good.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you asking me on, and I appreciate all your leadership and what you do.
Well, thank you. Well, so I'm going to just jump right in and get to the meat of it. Thinking back, I remember I had never done this before. And typically, I take the course first before I, jump into something. And this was so different for me because I couldn't do that. I'm sort of your type A personality. I want to know everything first, and then I'll be ready to start. So this was like a brand new animal to me. And it was quite off-putting, actually, that I had to just sort of surrender to anything I'd ever done before and come at this a new way, which is to be willing to not know anything getting started. So what I thought might be really interesting is if you could just, let's pretend, right, I'm at the very first day, I'm a hard worker, right, I've got a good business sense, no knowledge of this, but I have a hot, burning desire to succeed, I'm coachable, I'm willing to work, and I just don't know what to do yet. So what would you do with me on my first day?
Well, I really liked what you said right away. You were coachable, okay? That's the most important thing. When I get somebody on board, I don't want them to talk. And in fact, I'd like to be able to get some staples and put over their mouth sometimes because we get so excited. And I was one of them. Hey, I'm telling you everything that I did wrong because I did a lot wrong in the beginning because, as you said, Amy and I, this wasn't our profession. And I just wanted to share it to the world. And I talk, and I'm sure I turned off so many people, okay? Because they didn't want to hear it. They don't care about there's 92 nutrients, right? And so I think the first thing when I get somebody on board, I really want them to understand that there is a system of peak, pass, and plug. And they need to follow that system to a T and learn to say the correct words.
Great. Well, that's terrific. And that is actually the only reason that I was able to create a story in, my first 30 days. I have to say that when I look at what the correct words are, that's where I see a lot of people kind of get frozen up. Right. So that helped me a lot to get some languaging. Let's do that a little bit. Like, what are some of your, favorite opening lines that you might, share with someone to help get started?
I only have 2.
Okay.
I only have 2. When I started off, when I got better, I should say, I did trade shows, and that's just what I do. I don't anymore. Sometimes I really miss it. But when I was at a trade show, whether it was Zija products I was wanting to introduce or my own company products, I would look at somebody coming up the aisle, and they'd stop at my booth, and I would look at them and smile and go, "Are you ever sick and tired of being sick and tired?" And I'd joke around. And they would tell me, "I'm sick and tired of my lying and pain all the time," or "I'm sick and tired of not having the money, etc., that I wish I had to do different things." It was one or the other. There was no in between. You could always have an answer back to them because of listening to what they said. And the other one I say is, if there's one thing in your life you'd like to change, what would it be? And then I listen. I think the biggest problem with a lot of us distributors is we don't listen well enough. And we want to tell them what we want to tell them, not what they want to hear. And that turns them off and they'll walk away. You know, especially I hear it all the time when I'm with distributors, and the person is asking them about their leg pain and they're telling them about how to build a 6-figure business. Why are they telling them about the business when all right now they want to learn about is how to fix their pain? Once they fix the pain, maybe they'd be interested in the business because they're going to want to. But we've got to take baby steps with these people, and that's something that we as network marketers at times, and I'm talking about the beginning ones, are really bad at doing, and we really need to learn that. What is it? That very basic fundamental of learning to listen.
You know, one thing I love about both of your questions is that they're so clear. Whichever one you use, they're automatically going to direct you as to whether you're going to support them with product or business. Clear.
100%. Yeah. But once again, if you don't listen to what they're saying, you're going to give them the wrong pass. And that's the whole key. You're listening, and there's a lot of times I'll have my notebook, and as they're, you know what I mean, especially if I'm at a trade show and I'm talking to them, whatever, I would put down what they're saying so that I was able to give them the right pass. Okay?
You know what's great about that too? It forces you to listen more. If you're busy writing down what they're saying, you can't get caught up in your little agenda. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And you can do that on a call if you're talking to somebody or you're working social media. That I think social media and listen, or not listening, I guess you're reading what they're saying. There's no reason to ever have the wrong pass back to them.
Good point. Kind of slows you down a little bit too, doesn't it? Yeah, totally. That's great. So, all right. So once you have kind of gotten you're dialed in as to what really matters to them, as opposed to, I love the way you said that, instead of telling them what you think, right? What would you say, let's do both departments, customer and distributor. What is your favorite, like 2 links for each? What would be your first pass to them? What would you pique their interest with?
Listening to that person and seeing what type of personality they are. I don't have 2 set things. And that's, I think, where we get into trouble. Okay. We think these 2 things are going to be good for everybody, and they're not. They really aren't. So if, let's say I have somebody that is big into charities and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I'm going to send the lifestyle video of Jessica because she, with her orphanage in Ethiopia, that would really appeal to that person. I might also send them information on AmeriCares that we now have. You have to really listen to who they are. And there's where I think a brand new distributor is not taught where all of the past tools are. And then they're not spending the time going through them, making notes. This one is good, like Kwan's. I have a nail salon. I'll send all my Vietnamese people to that one. Or, I have David Moses or Fred Holmes or whoever. They're not making the notes as to what those videos would be good for. And if you saw my book, every video I have notes beside it. And the ones that we have on our Club Moringa page, this would be good for such and such. And DOMS, if somebody's got any kind of autoimmune disease, etc. Noreen, there's different videos we have with her, that's for the animals. You have to listen, like Debbie Ballmert, a workout person, etc.
Well, I love that because that is the only homework assignment I give people besides, Fred Holmes Fast Start Training, youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Boom. Or you can get it on clubmoringa.com. Boom. You do that 30 minutes so you understand the system that you were talking about. And then I say the only other thing you need to spend your time on is watch the videos until you catalog what you like for what reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's terrific. So, and clubmoringa.com, you've done an incredible job for those of you who don't know. In fact, we got a shout out to Tim Pennington and your concept that he really brought together. It's beautiful. You walk into a clubhouse, every hallway is a different topic, and inside that hallway is a room with the specifics inside that topic. Very clear, very easy to follow. Terrific trainings, all the videos that are your first choice. You know, there's a lot of videos out there. So what I like about that, I always send people there because, you know, they can start with a few and they get a good kind of spectrum, you know, and I think that's really, really meaningful. So there's a little bit of homework there, but you're also hearing stories and learning more about it. And what we do is share stories, right? So thank you for that resource, by the way. Use it all the time.
It's a good resource, but only if it's used properly. So you have a prospect that you want to send a video to. You don't send them to my website there for the team. You take a specific video and send it to that person. That's probably one of the biggest problems is people say, oh, I just sent them to the website. No, that's so confusing. You take somebody as something and you share it. And every single video, Tim has put it so that it can be shared on Facebook, texting, email, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever. It can be shared. And so people need to learn how to do that. And if you don't, guess what? Your leaders know how to do it. Make sure that you talk to them and they will go step by step what you need to do.
That's perfect. Now, how many links in an email or a Facebook, or, you know, how many do you send at a time?
One. And I always send something that's under 5 minutes.
That's key. Yep.
Very key. No, people's attention span is so limited until you actually have really piqued their interest. So the shorter, the better. One of them I use quite a lot is the animated one that's 3 minutes long about moringa. People seem to really gravitate to that one because it's kind of quirky, it's fun, and it's just short. And it gives you kind of an overall. And so that one's pretty simple. You know, if somebody's about losing weight, I'm going to send them the 2-minute transformation that's bang, before and after. It doesn't say much. It just shows before and after, and it piques their interest. So, you know, there's specific ones that I like to use more often than others, but I'm still listening to what they're saying.
Got it. All right. Now, let's say someone, you know, has the issue where they're on a lot of medications. They don't want to do anything. They don't really get yet. There really are no contraindications with our, you know, Smart and Super. They want to go to their doctor and they don't know what to send or bring to their doctor. What do you recommend in that case?
Okay. So once again, the person, if it's a brand new distributor and they don't know all the answers, needs to be doing a 3-way with their upline, so that the upline is guiding them to what to take to the doctor. Don't you as a brand new distributor arbitrarily decide, okay? Because chances are you might not know the answer. So there's enough upline and all the teams that will, you know, they'll give you the correct information to send. A lot of times I'll send the complete list of all the nutrients that are in moringa, you know, and then, you know, if it's somebody, it's my own personal, I'll actually just type out a little letter that they can take attached to that and give it to the doctor as to what this is. You know, I keep it really simple, but I always make sure, and this is always makes people laugh, but I always make sure they ask the doctor the correct question.
Okay, what would that be?
Am I allowed to eat? Okay, and I'm being blunt. And it's kind of funny when I've talked to a couple of the doctors afterwards, and they'll, because I have no problem with them calling me, and they'll go, Pat, what do you mean? I said, it's a food, it's a tree. Are your patients allowed to eat? If they're allowed to eat, they can have this. If they're not allowed to eat, like a good example, before you go get blood tested, you should never eat anything. You can't have our product. All right. But any other time, are we allowed to eat? That's it. That's simple. And doctors kind of shake their head and they go, yeah. Okay. Then they can have our product. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very important. If you have a prospect that's on a lot of medications, you need to work with your upline. They've all heard the stories of how to take it slow, how to, maybe do a quarter of a pack in 18 ounces versus a full pack. Your upline is the person who's supposed to be guiding you. Now, let's say you've got your upline is almost as new as you are, because I'm going to tell you, my team's growing so fast right now. We've got upline they have a 4 or 5 level deep downline, and they're, haven't been in the business a month yet. They need their upline diamond. All right. Somebody further up that's got a little bit more. And where can you get that information? In your back office. There's a Lifeline tab that gives you all of your uplines, telephone numbers, emails that you can contact them. Okay.
Yeah, and this might be a good point to just interject. We as distributors cannot send out third-party research. So I just want to make sure everyone's really clear about that. Can you just touch on that?
And it depends on what it is. Okay. What I just stated was the complete list of all the nutrients. Yes, we can send that out. Dr. Plant has done one that shows you all 36 anti-inflammatories. Yes, we can send things like that out. What you can't send out is going on to PubMed.org and I'm just pulling one out of the hat, moringa and cancer. But if somebody asks you a question, is this good for cancer? I go, well, you know what? If you go to PubMed.org, you might find some research that talks about different ailments. Pull it up. Mm-hmm. I never pull it up for them. They can read their own research.
Right. And that brings up one more point that's really valuable to talk about. Will you just touch on compliancy? We want to protect our company at all costs. And a lot of people just don't know what you can and can't do.
Right. It's really, we have a hard time with people on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Facebook, because we want to go into that research and we're so excited about it. We want to plaster it to everybody on our Facebook page. If you're going to, number one, do your business on Facebook, you need to learn how to do it properly. Not puke all over Facebook about your business. That's not what we do. That's not how to get people into our team. You need to build relationships. But if you go onto mine, you will never, ever see me posting that Zija cures arthritis and Zija cures cancer and on and on and on. You never see that. Make sure your pages are uplifting. People want to find out questions on different ailments. Tell them. Google. Even when distributors call me and they say, well, what oil should I use? I said, have you Googled? That's not my job. You have 2 fingers that can type on your computer just as easy as me. Google it, and you'll see your answer of which oils is good for whatever. But, I tell prospects that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. So, kind of moving a little bit further into the industry side of things. Mm-hmm. A lot of people obviously run into in the very beginning, before they really have the ability to handle objections, frankly. And there's still a lot of fear around this industry because of some companies in the past and made some poor choices, right? How do you help people understand, first of all, really the legitimacy of this profession, really? It's still called an industry, but it should be called a profession.
It's a profession. Mm-hmm.
Right? And then inside of that, what is it that sets Zija apart from the other network marketing companies?
Okay, so let's talk first about is Zija legitimate? Well, we have an A+ Better Business rating. Our product is formulated in an FDA-approved manufacturing facility. So these are information that I give to them. I also show them different awards that Zija's won, business awards in the city of Utah, awards that Ken has won, our marketing department. All of these things add credibility because we wouldn't be getting these types of awards and acknowledgments if we were a scam company. Okay, so that's an easy one for the legitimacy. Is our industry legitimate? Well, there's a new millionaire made almost every single day around the world. I don't know what other profession does that. I'm going to be, I guess this, I don't know if I can say this or not, but I'm going to anyways. You know me, I'm never compliant to in some things. If somebody doesn't want to join my business and thinks about that what I have is a scam, next. I don't want them in my business. And I don't know why people whine and complain, well, they didn't like what I have and this and that. Can you imagine if Walmart whined and complained every time somebody went to Target instead of Walmart?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we get too attached that way. I'm looking for people who want to work with me. I'm looking for people who are excited like I am. And when you get people like that, the sky's the limit. So don't worry about the negative people. Next. But this is really important, though. Understand, though, if somebody says no, I'm not interested right now, you go, hey, that's okay. Timing's not right for you. Maybe in a few months down the road, do you have a problem of me just keeping you updated on, maybe some new products that we have, or maybe some new developments in my business or the company? I might just send you an email once in a while. Is that okay? I ask permission, and I've never had anybody go, no, I don't even care what you're doing anymore. People don't do that. But if they did, I'd go, hey, not a problem. Have a good life. You know what I mean? I don't invest too much time, and I do not invest in negativity.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
There's a lot of training out there for how to deal with objections, and what I'm hearing is you don't even need to offer that training because you don't even go there.
Why would I?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a fairly positive person. I'm very excited about Zija. I have been for 10 years. Have we had some ups and downs? Of course. But I go back in my history of working, I can't name one company I didn't have ups and downs. And I know you in your profession of acting and every directing, you have ups and downs in every aspect of your life, your family life, everything. It's what we do when we're down, we do when we're up. And we've got to learn to balance it so we're on an even keel. Okay? And, stay cool. Smile. It's all okay. Just take a deep breath when times are tough. I'm going to tell you, you know me because we talk all the time. Do I get stressed? Well, yeah. Trust me. I have my stress thing on my phone. It tells me how stressed I am. What do? I do a lot what you've taught me. Take a deep breath, work on my heart math, do all that to calm myself down. And then it's going, okay, I'm ready to go again. Mm-hmm. That we need to get a better balance in our life, but we can't let those negative people bother us. They're not worth it.
Yeah, I know that one of the things that can really stop people, you kind of touched on this, is taking it personally, right? I mean, what?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so what about when it's friends and family? Now that's, a touch point for people. And, I've certainly dealt with that. I mean, I love David's story about that. How do you help someone whose friend or family, it's someone really important to them that just won't look at this, won't even look at it? How would you coach someone in that situation, just getting started and it's kind of a deal breaker for them?
Well, they shouldn't let it be a deal breaker. And for me, okay, I have my kids in the business. Well, that's okay. But if they hadn't wanted to do the business, it wouldn't have mattered to me one little bit. I only wanted to do it to help them financially. My sister, my sister.
Love her.
She didn't join their business for, 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, and then one day she just decided to. She just kept seeing what I'm doing and everything like that. But if she had never, it wouldn't have bothered me. Jim's family doesn't even know what I do. And they don't care. You know what I mean? I think we take too much stock in friends and family. Let's go back to the profession. I take this as a business. This is my business. And do I have to be in business with my family? No. Now, if my family would like to take the product to benefit their health, I'll definitely show them to that. But if they don't, it's up to them. They're responsible for their health. But I didn't go after my friends and family when I started Zija at all. At all.
Mm-hmm.
I went after perfect strangers.
You know what
I was looking.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I was looking for business partners.
Right. I love this, Pat. And what I'm hearing is that as a result, by you making it a non-issue, it's not even an issue at all, they never feel any pressure. That's why Darlene could come back in later when she saw something for herself. When we make an issue of it, there's a stickiness there. And then I think people are afraid to disappoint us. What if I start and don't like it, and then they're going to be all upset with me, and it's easier to just say no from the beginning if we've got any kind of anxiety about it coming into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if they fail, they're going to blame you.
Right.
No, it's not my fault you failed. You didn't put the work into it that I'm putting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the family members that expect you to build their business. No, that's not my job. I'm going to teach you how to do the business, how I'm doing it, but I'm not going to do it for you. Just like I'm not going to do it for any of my other distributors either. I'll be there to assist you, but I won't build your business. Mm-hmm. I'll help you build your business.
Well, I think that where the personal development piece comes in really shows up. Have you ever noticed this with your people, that whatever concern they have is the objections that they continuously get until they clear that particular issue with themselves? You know, when you have someone like that, what coaching do you give them?
You know, I listen to a lot of motivational tapes. I listen to a lot of trainings in the industry. You know, Jim Rohn's one of my favorite. He just seems to really put it in simplistic ways that you can understand, and it just goes like, why didn't I think of that? So believe it or not, I just get on YouTube and I'll just pull up randomly different little clips from these icons in the profession, because they've already gone through it. You and I haven't been in this industry. Like you said, Reed's on the line. Oh my gosh, he's one that's been on for 46 years. He's forgotten more than I know. But, you know, I just pull them up and start listening to them. And it's like, that was the answer. So I think people need to spend a little time on themselves, on, you know, the personal development, but pick, you know, go through different YouTubes, because they're all there. They're all archived. And see what you're needing that day. So a lot of times I'll just pull up motivation, and you remember all the quotes that you'll find on Google, and I'll just, you know, randomly look at a few of these, and they're just what I needed that day. They just pop up.
Yeah, that's great. And you know, you just actually gave a secret to our group here. Reed Nelson is on this training, you guys.
Hey, Rick.
That's a really big secret right there. If someone with that level of success, it's not just that he's been in it a long time. I mean, massive success, he and Yvonne. But he's on this training. Now, what does that tell you? Let's talk about plugging in, Pat.
Okay, so even though Reed has a lot more experience than I have a lot more experience in Zija than he has. Reed has introduced me to every single person that he has introduced into Zija. Every single person. Now, does he need to? No. He can, number one, close. Number two, train. Plug them in, everything like that. But he follows the system. You out there? I probably talked to him more than I talked to my husband, actually, I think, and vice versa. You know, we're always on the phone together, but you have to plug in. The three-way calls and the mentorship with your upline is so important that you work together to really succeed. David's another one. You know, I'm on the phone with him 5-6 times a day. Not always about business, but, you know, we're talking. But it's, it's really important that you have that relationship. But guess what? It's not the upline that has to call the downline. It's the downline that needs to call the upline. Okay? And I think most people, and I got quite a few in my team, that think I need to be calling them all the time. It's not going to happen. I am there to help you every step of the way, but you need to reach out to me when you need that help. Okay?
That's beautiful. Yep. It's the 80-20 rule, right? And what I've kind of made up a little saying, I pay attention to the people who are paying attention. And how I know you're paying attention is you're calling me.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, that's terrific. And the other key factor of Reed being on this call, just to touch on that one more time, is that the training never stops. Right? How do you keep yourself motivated? Sure, obviously personal development, that's a great clue, but staying plugged into our system. For myself, when I started out, I didn't have a story. So I listened to everybody else's live every week, every call. It reminded me why I was doing this, kept me excited, right? Your health talks every Wednesday. For those of you who don't know, Club Moringa, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Brilliant. You interview wonderful people each week, just a plethora, and then you load those recordings right there for anyone to access. Just that alone keeps you plugged into the system. What else do you recommend for staying plugged in?
I don't think I've missed a Monday night call unless I'm in an airplane. I'm on David's MIT call every single week, and I learn lots every week. Even though I hear it all the time, you don't always pick it up the first time. And so, I need that call. I need to make sure that I'm working, and David will remind me, that I have to do certain things. This is kind of a funny thing, and I can say it. So when David calls me up, if he's in a really serious mood, he goes, "Are you coachable today?" And I'll have to think, and I'll go, "No," and he'll hang up. He just hangs up on me. I have to be coachable too, guys. Okay, I have to have my mind open to the things maybe I'm not doing correctly or I need to improve on, and that's where I get coaching from him on the days that I'm coachable. Okay, and that's really important. What I said to him, no, and he'll hang up, because there's no sense him spending his precious time trying to teach me something if my mind is not open to listening to it.
It reminds me of something that I forget when I did this, but it occurred to me one day. I have not paid one red cent for hundreds of hours of coaching. Let's do the math. Thousands of dollars of coaching that I have had from you and Fred and David. I just, what other profession gives that to you at this level? It's not only just to be coachable, to be so grateful to have that level of support. It's unbelievable to me. And by the way, thank you.
Well, we've had a lot of fun over the last 10 years, and I love being able to bring Max on to be able to help coach too, just, for a lot of people that are, taking his training, and that's always been my thing with the team, is being able to give the team what they need, but they have to be willing to do it. We can give the best trainings, just David can and everything, but if your mind's not open to hearing it, it's a waste of our time and it's a waste of your time. So you really need to come in the right frame of mind that, oh my gosh, today's the day I'm going to really learn what you have to say, and I'm going to implement it. All right.
That's the key. Yes. Implementing. Right. Well, and that brings me to another subject I wanted to cover. Is there one way to do this? In other words, there's all different kinds of people, all different kinds of approaches. Let's touch on that a little bit, right? How many ways can you skin this cat?
Right. This is what I love about our profession, is we don't have to do it all the same way. I told you, I like trade shows. If I wasn't so darn busy, I would still be doing trade shows because I love to do them. Well, I'm going to tell you, for 99% of the population, they should never do them. Okay, you have to be very quick on your feet, and you have to be able to close right there. And a lot of people can't do that. But there's people that don't like to talk to people. Well, what would they be good at? Social media, where all you're doing is typing. You're building a relationship, and you never have to speak a word to them until later on. But you can build that relationship first. Some people think home parties are absolutely the greatest thing. You know, there's the Cindy Peden with her oil parties, and, you know, Shelley now teaching about the 2-minute miracle parties. I think they're great. I can't see me ever doing that kind of a party. Don't go to them even. I've never been to a Tupperware party in my whole life. But some people, they just think that's so much fun, and I think it's awesome when you can do it. And what about the business presentation in homes or in meeting places? They're all great. But when you bring on a brand new distributor, you need to see what they like, because what they like could be 100% different than what you like. And you need to find somebody in the organization that can, you know, lock arms with them and help teach them in the area that they like. Okay, because there'll be somebody else that likes the same thing as them. And so that's where, you know, even when I'm bringing on a brand new distributor and I'm looking at where I'm going to place them in my organization, I always look at personalities, what they like, if they live in the same areas, on and on and on before I place them. Because I want that camaraderie between them.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love that, you know, really taking a look to see, just like you're dealing with a prospect, what is it they need? What is it they want? What will make a difference for them? You know, that's terrific. And kind of along those lines, you know, how do you support someone in, one, getting clear on their, really what their purpose is, what matters to them, their why, as we call it, and then being really attentive to their goals and being accountable to their goals? How do you support your new people that way?
Number one, I really want them to go to the Club Moringa and hit on that button that says goals and fill out that form and send it to me. And when they do that, I can actually see where they're going and what they want to do. So I'm just going to go from that. I need to personally see that written. All right, so that I can guide them in the way that they want to go. And it's interesting when you see it, because when people put things down in writing, it's their true feelings. And sometimes when they talk to you, they're saying what they think you want to hear. Okay? And so I'm a firm believer. You can see in my office, I got books everywhere. I'm always writing stuff. And when I'm on a 3-way call or Zoom, I've got the book beside me writing information about that person and stuff. And goals are no different. It has to be written. And then send it to your upline so that they can see and be able to go step by step up from what you want to achieve. Because, you know, I have a lot that they think they want to make an extra $1,000 a month. I think that's awesome. Okay? I'm going to have to gear down my go, because they just want to make $1,000 a month. All right? And I'm thinking a lot higher. Nope, I got to get back down here. So if you're going to be a coach of somebody, you really need to learn how to coach to what they want. And I keep going back that. It's what they want, not what you want for them. They might just want to get their product paid for. Hey, awesome. Give me 100,000 people in my organization just wanting to get their product paid for. I've got a heck of an organization, right? So it's all back to listening, Amy. Everything's about listening.
Well, that leads me into, you know, kind of the question I wanted to really touch on, to take advantage of the history that you have now. You know, you've been very successful in other businesses. You know, this coming into this, we were even going to do it, and then you couldn't resist it. Obviously, the product works so well. It's really a passion for you, which I've always loved and appreciated. We share that product first mentality. But in these years, from the starting out and trying to figure this out, and all that you've done, and by the way, included all of your team in the process and paid for these different trainings and approaches and whatnot along the way, like Max Steingart, which is, you know, the grandfather of social marketing. Thank you for Max and all that he's done for us. When you look at that, what would you say from, you know, day one to today has been the most defining aspect in your perspective, growing your perspective to where you were to where you are today?
Wow. I really can't name one thing. Nothing really changed. For me, I am a definite A personality. Like, there's just failure in anything I do is not in my vocabulary. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I'm going to do whatever it takes to be successful. But the difference in this business is, and this is a main thing, what I love about this business is, unless I help you become successful, I can't be successful. So all these trainings you talked about in St. Louis, and I put on so many meetings over the years, is because I wanted you guys to be successful. But you had to step it up too. It's not everything that I could do for you. You had to take that next level and say, I can do it also. And I'm hoping a lot of those trainings did. I like to have fun too. It's not all work. I like the team when they join together to have fun and share. The fellowship was a big, important part to me. If I hadn't had fun at this business, I would have quit long ago. Because it's really, that's really important to me. The relationships. I truly think of Zija, Club Moringa, we're family. And I can't imagine the people that are in our organization, them not being there anymore. You know, people come, people go, people's lives change, people leave. That's okay. But I'm hoping that even if they leave, they're still part of my family. Mm-hmm. It's been a great 10 years. It's been a really good 10 years.
Well, you know, and you touched on one thing there that's really meaningful, which is, given you have the attitude that nothing's going to stop you until you reach your goal. Inside of that, that's a given. Would you say it's even possible to fail in this profession? And aside from quitting and never talking to another human being.
Well, yes, you can fail. But the way I look at it, even if I fail at the business part, I'm still taking the product, so I'm not a failure because I'm helping my health. And for me, yeah, don't get me wrong, I like my paycheck. I'm not going to deny I like my paycheck. But what I really like is my health change. Because I could have all the money, and we were very, very successful without Zija. But I didn't have my health. I went through a lot of years very ill. And I got more energy. I don't know how. I do sometimes. At 61 years of age, I feel like I'm back in my 40s. And I'm probably healthier. I know I'm healthier than I was in my 40s. But I can't even describe it. Like, I don't think no matter what, I would have failed because I'm taking the product. Business-wise, if you're struggling, you're not making the money that you want to make, then you need to reevaluate with your upline. And if that's not the right person, go all the way up. You've got me and Fred and Amy and Reed, and there's so many people in our organizations, Crossline, everything, that you need to go after the right answers, because maybe there's going to be times when I don't have the right answer for you, because maybe our personalities aren't the same, maybe we don't mesh, or who knows. But there's going to be somebody that you do, and it's your obligation to go find that person. And when you do, it's magic. It's absolutely magic. Like, David and I, besides Zija, we're best friends, and we talk about everything. And he's always there for me, always. Mm-hmm. Find somebody like that will be there, every step of the way.
That's so great, Pat. And I think I might take a stab at saying what your real your magic is.
Oh gosh.
I'm going to take a stab at it. I just love that. You're already successful because of this product. So the mindset of beginning any conversation with, I'm already successful. It doesn't matter what you choose. It's up to you. I support you, whatever it is, because I'm already successful, I think is really key.
I don't know anybody that says, oh, the product's gross. You know what I mean? While they're building the business. That just doesn't happen.
No.
You know? And so when you're talking to somebody, you have to show how passionate you are about what we have. Now, we all have our different passions. Like for me, it's moringa. Some of you might like the oil. Some of you might like the ripstick. I don't care what it is. Be passionate about what you're doing, because at the end of the day, no matter how good the company is, and we know how good the company is, it's about your passion and your ability to portray to that prospect without puking all over them. Okay? That's the key. They just need to see, like, remember how we did that course on every time, this is before we did Zooms, and I did that talk on picking up the telephone, having a mirror in front of you, and smiling and laughing at yourself while you're doing a call. People hear that smile in your voice. And if you have a frown, they're not going to be very enthused about talking to you. Whereas if you're kind of got that laugh, smile in your voice, they're going to say, oh, I want what she has or he has. And that's so important.
Yeah, remember why you love this and you started in the first place before you pick up the phone.
Right. Yeah. Go get a mirror.
Look in the mirror. Love that.
Yeah. Go get, like, now you can just walk to the bathroom. Back then we didn't have the cordless and all that. But, but go in front of your mirror when you're doing your call. And if you see yourself, are they going to want to talk to somebody like that? No, they're not. So put a smile on your face and see the difference.
Yeah, that's terrific, Pat. Just a plethora of wonderful information and guidance that's come through on this training. Thank you so much. I mean, you literally have the fastest growing team in the entire organization, and yet here you are taking this time to, share who you are and make sure that people have the information that they need. In closing, what would you want to leave us with, that kind of pushing them out the door? Here you go. Here's your wings. Go fly.
Keep it simple. Do not complicate this business. The people that complicate it are the ones that are going to fail. Okay? We've got to keep following that simple system of peak, pass, and plug. Just understand how to do it. Be coached, properly on how to do it, and get to. I'm this last, and that for the last 3 years. My whole training, get to. That's it. Now, I personally don't care what those two are. They could be two customers. That's a good start, but let's get to. And I love the GQ bonus because it rewards us for correct activity. All right. So let's go get everybody on this line today. Let's go get 2 this week. Get 2 customers, get 2 business people. Doesn't matter. 1 of each. I don't care. Let's go get 2. That's going to double the businesses. If everybody was to do that, our businesses would be doubled, right? And you take, I'm looking at the future, and I've been talking to Ken Brailsford, I think every week for a while now. And it's like, how do we take this company to the $1 billion company? Got to duplicate. And that's everybody. Me, you, we all need to recruit. There's nobody on this call, and that's me included, that should be in management mode. Absolutely nobody. Reed puts in somebody new every single week. All right? Sometimes I don't every week, but I sure try. I have them in my prospects and my funnel. I still have my sheet on my funnel. But I do put in at least 2 people every single month. So you need to continue doing that. And it's the only way that you're going to grow, but it's the only way the company's going to grow. I want this company to be around for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, on and on and on. And there is no reason why it can't. The only way that it can fail is if we all stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stopping. Are you?
No.
No. You've got a lot of great things on the go, you and your team. You know, and so many other ones that are on the phone here. We just, if we want to build this to $1 billion company, we all have to buckle down, and we all have to do what we say we're going to do, and we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. I love that. We all do have a responsibility. You want to be a member of Zija Nation, then do your part. Go
Mm-hmm.
get two.
Mm-hmm. Cool. There's a whole pile of questions I see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can you spend a couple more minutes and we can take a look and see?
Yeah, I'm just looking to plug in money objections. There's a good one. Can you please discuss how to handle prospects who don't have pain, want more money, but say they don't have finances to invest in their business? Oh, cool. To me, you know, I always ask permission, okay? I ask permission if I can be blunt. Now, I ask permission that way if somebody's got a health challenge too. So it's not just money, it's in health. And I'll say, you know, you're telling me you have no money, but you need money. So you really need my business more than anything so that you will never have this problem again. I want to tell you a little trick I did in my area here a few years ago. There was I live in a poor area of Oklahoma. And so what we did with this family is, I told them it costs about, just over $3 a day to take the product. I want you to put every single day $3 into a bucket so that by the end of the month, you have enough money saved to buy the product. Now, this was a product thing, okay? But I could have said, all right, you want to build a business. We know it costs $20 to be a wholesale member. So how about we put $5 a day into the bucket to create the income so that at the end of the month that you can have enough money in that bucket that we can sign you up. Okay, now this is for people that are extremely poor. Okay, and they scrambled and saved, and that's how they started their business.
I've used that training from you so many times, Pat. It almost moves me to tears when I think about the people that I've been able to get started. Mm-hmm. No, they're not big business builders, but you know what? No. They're better. They feel better. They're excited about their life again. Some of them, one of them couldn't even get out of bed, and life-changing for them. And that's what made it possible, was just that simple technique of, well, what are you spending $3 a day on now that you'd be willing to give up to feel better? I'm so glad you brought that up, because I will never be able to thank you enough. Those people, many of them, will never thank you enough for having really instrumented that as a way so that literally anyone can get started. And right now, don't forget, NHR 2018. People can join for an entire year and get wholesale prices. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So 75 PV will get them into the business.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's save the money up, get them in, and then bring on a couple of people, even if we have to do it the same way. All right, we can teach them how to do it. Now, we're not going to tell everybody about that, but I'm talking about the people that really legitimately have zero money.
Yeah.
All right, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Yeah,
all
that
right.
was a great question. I think, do you see anything else there? I think we covered everything. You have huge kudos here, Pat, that's for sure. I think we covered all those questions. I certainly know that you covered everything I would want to know starting out, and be able to realize ultimately your leadership, what you teach for us to really get we're not alone, is always pervasive. And I am so grateful to you for that mother hen, right? You pull us all in. It's just incredible. I know I can't fail because I have someone who believes in me. And I have to tell you, that's true with you, with everyone in Zija Nation, whether they're on your team or not. I've seen you do it over and over and over. If there's anyone on this line or listening to the recording that feels like they're alone, you just plug into Pat, right? If you can't find out or figure out or connect with your upline, you are not alone, because you have Pat Andersen on your side.
You know, and there's a lot of us, okay? There's a lot that you just plug in. You know, we don't, I always have this saying, nobody left behind. but I don't know if you're left behind unless you tell me. Okay? You have to tell me or tell your upline, I need help. You ask any of us for help, and we're there for you. Absolutely there. Awesome. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And grandmothers.
And grandmothers. Thank you so much, Pat. I know everyone is going to be watching this for a long time. You're a gem. We love you. You are literally like the Zija royalty in the constellation for us. And yet you're right here on the ground working with us day in, day out. We love you. We respect you. We appreciate you. And thank you.
Love you, girl. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend, but we're not done.
Yeah, go get two.
Go get two. Okay.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.